Hello and welcome to my month of June wrapped up. I have already filmed all of these videos and it turns out I had lipstick on my teeth the entire time. So I've had to refilm them all. So I'm very sorry you're not going to be getting the original off-the-cuff reactions. This might feel a bit rehearsed, but that's because I've already done this. So I'm really sorry, but I couldn't have lipstick all over my teeth on the internet. It's too much. I didn't want to subject you to that. So let's talk about the books that I read in June. So in June, I read a total of 90 books, but 35 were DNFs. So I still did read 55 books this month, which is my biggest reading month. Your girl needs to get out of her house a little more. So that is still a lot of books. It is what it is. Out of those books, 16 were audio, which is a lot for me. I'm not really an audio fan, but that's because I did do the 24-hour challenge and had to work while listening. Out of the 55 books I read in full, 17 of those were 4 stars and up, which means books I really enjoyed. So 31% of the books that I read were great. So that's a good statistic for me. I did read from all genres as usual, but the top 5 that I read the most from were fantasy, romance, LGBTQIA, litfic, and YA. So as usual, I'm going to read the Goodreads reviews that I wrote for the 17 books that were 4 stars and up. So we've got the first 5-star of the month and what I would probably choose as my favorite read of the month. This Fatal Kiss by Alicia Jasinska, which I gave 5 stars. Squeals in Bisexual, feisty water nymphs, cinnamon roll exorcists, and cautionary crushes. I ate this up. Is there a polyamorous love triangle? Yes. But weirdly, I didn't mind, even though Kazik and Gisela would be my preferred pairing. It was cute and lush with Slavic folklore. I loved the modernish banter and the obstacles. The ending does hint at a sequel, but it is as satisfying as a standalone. The foreshadowing might be a bit heavy-handed, as well as stressing that everyone is bi, but that's legit the only complaint I have. Loved it. I'd join and turn the triangle into a quadrangle. Next we have Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Turkarczuk and translated by Antonia Lloyd-Jones. Eccentric old lady who house-sits in the off-season, loves astrology and William Blake's poetry. But most of all, she loves animals, so you'd better not mess with them. The writing is superb. The winter vibes are flawless. It did meander a little now and then, but overall it was a great noir thriller set in a small Polish village on the border of the Czech Republic with an odd cast of characters. We all aspire to having ride-or-die friends like her. Then we have Elatsoe by Darcy Little Badger. I gave this 4.75. Under dinosaurs, vengeful ghosts, and harmful healers. Indigenous folklore in a modern, paranormal urban fantasy setting. Remember your roots and protect your loved ones. Elatsoe is great. This is also giving supernatural.
That was scary.
The Gingerbread Queen by Carrie Ann Noble. I gave this 4.5. Vain witches, dastardly ducks, and wholesome bakers. Gretel slays the witch and then must return to become one. Hansel is not so hot right now. Must eat some non-magical gingerbread. Cozy and cute. Strange Beasts by Susan J. Morris, which I gave a 4 stars. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen meets Sherlock Holmes. Main character is bi, and there's one sapphic kiss. Lots of monsters and twisty whodunits. The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. I gave this a 4.75. Imagine an even more up version of the Umbrella Academy and multiply that by 1 trillion. This book has all the trigger warnings, but the story is so insane it's mind-blowing. You have a bunch of kidnapped children turned into godly librarians under the control of a terrifying Faja.
Yeah, gold member, I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch. Okay, perv boy?
Fasha is dad. Dad is Fasha.
Oh, his dad. Oh, his father.
Until one day, one child gets their revenge. I need to read a kids magazine about kittens to bleach my brain after this. Lightfall, The Dark Times. This is the 3rd in the series by Tim Probert. 4.25. The cozy, lush illustrations and sweet story of Bay and her friend continues. As lovely as the previous installments. Psykhe by Kate Forsyth, I gave this a 4 stars. Star-crossed lovers, jealous mothers, cruel fathers, and the power of love and perseverance. The author uses the Roman names for the gods, I prefer the Greek ones, and the trials are jammed into the last pages of the book. I've always felt that Psykhe was right to want answers from Eros, and not only to trust him blindly. I don't really feel like it added a whole lot or any interesting angles to the original myth, but as this myth is one of my favourites, I enjoyed this book. Although I would have liked more romance between Eros and Psykhe. It was super tame and they didn't have a lot of page time together. The 6 Deaths of the Saint by Alex E. Harrow gave this 5 stars. Well, damn. A peasant girl is honed into a weapon and wielded by others. It's giving Brienne from Game of Thrones. I would rather love a coward than mourn a legend. Can't say any more without spoiling it, but this was a great quick read. Floral Folklore, The Forgotten Tales Behind Nature's Most Enchanting Plants by Alison Davies, I gave this a 4.25. Loved that each flower had a description, origin, association, myths, stories, and ritual spells. The writing for the stories was very basic, but otherwise a fun read. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, I gave this 4.25. Welcome to the multiverse, bitches! Dude gets screwed over by his own self and then fights like hell to get his life back. What a mindfuck. When Among Crows by Veronica Rath. 4.5. 2 monsters and a monster slayer are off to see the baddest witch there ever was. Slavic folklore in a modern setting as 3 reluctant allies are on a quest to get their wishes granted. Features gay romance, family curses, and spine swords. The Husbands by Holly Gramazio, which I gave 4 stars. An unending mystery vending machine of husbands. Which one do you lock in? Could this have been edited down? Yep, but I still had an easy entertaining time. What I learned from this is whatever the method, dating is exhausting and confusing AF. Perfume and Pain by Anna Dawn, which I gave 4 stars. If you like reading about messy, horny, drug-fueled lesbians falling for equally messed up women, this is for you. Lots of mentions of Patricia Highsmith, Patti Smith, Joan Didion, Jeanette Winterson, Kay Stew, The Kardashians, and a lot of other pop culture references. Margot's Got Money Problems by Ruthie Thorpe, which I gave 4 stars. Young mum lives with her wrestler dad and starts an OnlyFans account to pay the bills. Some people try to comfort her baby, and she has to prove you can be both a sex worker and a great mother. This was very readable, and Margot is a great character. The book switches narratives, but it didn't bother me at all. Wasn't really a fan of the romance part, but otherwise I enjoyed the story. The Revenant Games by Margie Fuston, I gave this a 4.5 stars. Witches and vampires are enemies, but hold a fragile truce as they both need humans to survive. Once a year, said humans compete to kidnap either a witch or vampire, to trade to the other side, to gain riches as well as immortality or raising a loved one from the dead. Bly wants her dead sister back and to cure her best friend / crush from a death curse, so she must play both sides. Things get very complicated along the way, mostly thanks to an altruistic vampire. This could have been cut down and polished. It got a little confusing and convoluted at some points. However, I enjoyed it, not the cliffhanger ending. And Kerrigan is my favourite character. I will be reading the next book, We Were the Universe, by Kimberly King Parsons. I gave this a 4 stars. Bisexual sad mum who loves her family, watching porn, and is dealing with the grief of losing her sister. I loved the parts about motherhood. The writing reminded me of Melissa Broder. The book goes back and forth in time, remembering her childhood and the time spent with her sister to the now where she is a wife and mother. There is a lot of mentions of drugs and horniness. And those were all of my top reads from this month of June. Let me know down below what your favourite book you read this month was. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.